I'm so conflicted about people asking me when the next Picard review is out because, in one way, I feel happy that people are genuinely interested in my low IQ takes on Picard. But on the other hand, it's getting annoying. It's getting annoying because it's like a chore. The chore isn't in making the review itself, which is something that I love and appreciate. The chore is in actually watching the damn thing. Because yet again, I get to see how they're butchering something that I grow up with. And not to mention, you have to watch it again and again while making this review in order to have like the images and the editing part. It's horrible. So I'll probably watch it later today and I make a review tomorrow or the day after. A lot of people ask me like, why do I get angry over this? And it's like, honestly, these are things that I grew up with. And I see them getting butchered. It's like having Barney the dinosaur being taken by these progressive twats behind the corner and butchering the poor animal. You know, it's really sad. It's why some of my best rants, people say, are about Blizzard. Because I genuinely love that company. I wanted to throw money at them. I wanted to go into the wage cage and just use all of my dollaroos and smackaroos and give them to Blizzard. Like, here, take my money, Blizzard, take it. And now they just don't want to. They're like, no, like, fuck you, we hate you. And it's like, okay, well, if you hate me, then, you know, I am not going to spend my time in the wage cage just to give you money. People need to understand, Blizzard is just the brand now. It's not the original developers. They all left. There's just a couple of them twats there who haven't realized that the ship is sinking yet. All the other rats have fled the ship by now. The only thing that Blizzard cared about is diversity and multiculturalism until they do business in China. And all of a sudden they realize that, hold on a little bit, China pays its homophobia tax. So all the gay characters we have in Overwatch, they're to please the Western game journalist, not the Chinese man. The Chinese man gets Soldier 76 straight. They get Tracer straight. The Chinese Communist Party straightens out our characters. Yeah, no, seriously, like, it's astonishing. It's mind-boggling. I genuinely do not understand it. You have a company which is willing to bend over backwards to please video game journalists. Like, who cares about video game journalists? Like, the lowest of the low profession. You know? And they're trying to please and ask-kiss these people who, by the way, write articles that literally no one reads. And then they literally just unzip their pants and take a giant piss on their community that they don't even call gamers anymore. Now it's consumers. It's consumers. Because that's what you are. You're a little pay piggy to give them cash for their new World of Warcraft mount or whatever they spew out nowadays. I swear to God, those World of Warcraft mounts that cost money, that's a stupidity tax. If you buy one, congratulations, you're stupid. But anyway, right, so, what happened now? Well, if you remember, during the last BlizzCon, the only thing that I was hyped up about, and the only thing that I was, like, legitimately excited was Warcraft 3 Reforged. Now, at first, I generally thought it's just going to be like an HD remake of Warcraft. Because that would have been great. You know, everyone would have been happy. Improve graphics, you know, maybe charge me $10, $15. And you can bring that old game back into 2019. And I was like, yeah, you know. But no, says Blizzard. No. You see, this is not just like a remake or no. This is a reforging. New animations, new cutscenes, better internet connection, So what happens is, like, they ask people to pre-order. Now, unlike Steam, where I generally have no problem pre-ordering, by the way, because if I don't like the product, I can just decide to get a refund. You get a refund on Steam right away, so what's wrong in pre-ordering? What's wrong in pre-ordering? Nothing damages a company more than if they have to expect they're going to make a lot of money and then they realize they have losses because they have to get refunds to the customer. And obviously, it's a good thing. You know, put out a good product so people don't refund you. It's not that hard. Other companies do it. Surely you can as well. But in the case of Warcraft Reforged, they ship it out and they manage to downgrade a 12-year-old game. I know it sounds impossible. I know it's bewildering. Besides the fact that this is Blizzard, the company that always releases games that are polished. That's what they take pride in. But not only do they release a game that is not as advertised, like the cutscenes weren't remade and they have better resolutions or whatever, but it's not like they were advertising it. The UI in the game is not advertised as advertised, like it's the same old UI. They removed ranking from the ladder, if you can believe it. And not only that, I really do not like the new art style. I know some people do, but it's very difficult. I think those people who like the new art style don't play competitively. Like, good luck figuring out which are your units and which are the enemy's units when you have 30 units on the screen. The previous graphics were made by a gamer. You can definitely tell this. Like, even though they didn't look as good as they do today, you could at least differentiate each individual unit and they would stand out one from another, so that when you play competitively, you can do the clickety-clack on your mouse, so that you have like your 200 and 230 APMs per minute, like Groovy does. Now you can't. Now it's very difficult to tell one unit from another. It's just, Jesus Christ. And the game runs slow. It runs sluggish. Like, I can play Warcraft 3, the old version better. And to add insult to injury, everybody has to play the new game. Like, even if you have the old game, you know, like, the small amount of people that were actually playing the previous version, well, fuck you, because now you have to play the new one. They literally, like, Blizzard will update your game to the current version without adding the new graphics, but everything else, you know, the sluggishness, the removing of ranking, all of that, now boom, comes over you. And by the way, I am absolutely shocked, I tell you, about the people who legitimately believe every single fart that Blizzard gives them. We didn't want to remake the campaign, and well, because it would be hiring other voice actors, and people really like the previous voice actors, so we're not going to touch that. You know, we don't want to do this and this and that, because the previous people, who cares about the previous people, motherfucker? If they literally like the old Frozen Throne so much, then play the old game, play the old Frozen Throne. Why can't you make, you know, a proper game to 2019 standards, so you can charge people money and make it the way you want it? It's like, oh, you know, which is more likely? They literally give a shit about the community that they're pissing on right now, or they just didn't want to invest money. I mean, look at Resident Evil 2, you know, Capcom just raised the bar so high, it's next to Jesus Christ crotch. That's how high the bar is. They took a game like Resident Evil and made a masterpiece out of it. Of course people want to play the game. They didn't do that with Warcraft 3 Reforged, because allegedly, the previous community, the 10 people that are still playing the game, didn't like it. Fuck off. You know, at least tell me the honesty. Tell me that you didn't want to input a lot of resources into making it, and then I'll be fine. Holy shit, I got annoyed. But anyway, right, so what happens is, a lot of people are dissatisfied with this, right? So they wanted to ask for refunds. Well, guess what? It doesn't allow you to refund your game. Like, if you go on the main Battle.net, it doesn't allow you to refund the game. Isn't that funny? Isn't that interesting? Last time there was a controversy with Blizzard, it also just happened that their websites didn't work during the height of the controversy, you know? And when you actually wanted to refund, to cancel your account, if you wanted to cancel your account, they would ask you for an ID. You don't need that ID to create a World of Warcraft account, but if you want to cancel your account, you need to provide an ID. You know, granted, the system was there from the start of the game, but still, come the fuck on, you know? Like, just remove the system, let's be honest. It's like, it's almost like they're the Gestapo nowadays. Papers, kann ich seine Papiere sehen, you know? Why not ask for a certificate of mental health to show you that I'm sane enough? Because we don't want people to go insane and remove their Blizzard accounts. Anyway, right, so people are trying to refund. It doesn't work. The website doesn't allow you. So what people do is that they contact customer support. And they're telling them, listen, motherfucker, I want my money back, right? I'm not happy. The game is not what you advertised. This is called false advertising. It's illegal in some countries. And the people there, the people in charge at Blizzard are telling, it's like, oh no, you signed the license agreement. Motherfucker, if I would sign a license agreement saying that I will donate a kidney, do you honestly think that's legally binding? You know, what about the soul of my unborn child, if you put that in the license agreement? Do you honestly think? What if I sell myself into slavery on your license agreement? Do you think that's legally binding? No, it's not. Do you know why? Because your license agreement doesn't mean shit when it comes into conflict with the national laws in the countries you're trying to sell your stuff in. But this is like what everyone knows, right? Like, especially in the European Union. Your license agreements are only good to be written on toilet paper and people to wipe their ass with. Because at the end of the day, the national laws are legally binding. You can't just make a license agreement that says, oh, fuck your national laws. What? Your national law says that you can refund any product for any reason within 10 days? Oh, no, you know what? Merkel is going to do the at Blizzard. That's what's going to happen. So what happens is that if you really want a refund, okay, you tell those people that you're going to contact your customer protection agency. Every country has a different one, right? Like they have a name in America, they have a different name here in Europe. There is like this government agency that has a boner for suing corporations. That's what they do. From my taxpayer money, there are a couple of people out there who do nothing but to sue big companies. So I don't have to. I love those people. I wish there were more like them. So when you purchase a dildo from Big Dragon or something and there's a dead mouse in it, you go to those people and they sue the company. Aren't they lovely? Yes. So if you actually tell Blizzard that you threatened to file a complaint with those individuals from the government, immediately Blizzard is going to refund your game. Do you know how easy it is to file a complaint? You don't have to pay money. You don't have to do anything. You just sign a piece of paper. And they ask for your ID. At least in my country. I don't know in other places. But I would rather show them my ID than to show it to Blizzard. How about that? Okay, so a lot of people are saying, that this is how you can get a refund. What does Blizzard do? They ban these people from the forums. Brilliant. Brilliant marketing move. Now, a lot of people, a lot of Einsteins are coming from the woodwork. It's like, oh, of course Blizzard is going to do this. Because why would they want you to damage them financially on their own forums? Listen, you moron, do you understand that the game Warcraft 3 Refucked costs like what, $30, okay? The damage to their brand is irreparable. Like, they are going out of their way to create, I guess, a legacy of being worse than people at EA. Like, the people at Electronic Arts are celebrating right now. They're probably like communists being happy that Nazis exist. Because there's an ideology that they can say it's worse to make them look good. It's really that. So it's just mind-boggling to see. And you know what's funny? Because in all of this, it's going to give them big losses on profits and stuff. Like, people are going to stop trusting them as a company. They won't purchase as much, okay? So what will end up happening is that Blizzard is going to have to fire people. And I know from personal experience, I have insiders, not only in Blizzard, but in other gaming companies. Every single time something like this happens, it's not the marketing team that gets fucked. It's not the human resources team that gets fucked, which, by the way, these are the teams responsible for 90% of the problems. Had the marketing team did not advertise the game and hyped it up the way it is, none of this would have been an issue. Like, if they would have just said, yeah, we're trying our best in order to reforge Warcraft. No pre-purchases, no nothing. It's just like, we're doing our best in order to make this game better. It's going to take a little while, we're just putting a couple of developers here in order to do their best, and they have limited resources. Might take more than a year. And after that, you would probably have them, release their content updates and stuff like that, and talk with the community constantly. Not with the journalists, but with the actual community. I think people would have had a lot of goodwill to the project. And I think less people would have been upset if you didn't force them to use this garbage game that you have downgraded. But alas, no, right? Who's responsible for this? The marketing team. They're the ones that are probably going to get raises and be sent on paid expansion trips and paid holidays. Meanwhile, whenever people need to get fired, who do you think gets fired? The diversity hire? No. The developer. I'm looking at the comic book industry, and it's the same thing. Every time they need to fire someone, they don't fire the fat, they fire the muscle, the actual talented people who, like Ethan Van Sciver, that says, yeah, you know what, I'm going to make my own independent comic book. Bam, $1 million. First issue, one issue. Like, imagine making $1 million with one comic book. When all the journalists and the people that have their finger on the pulse tell me that the comic book industry is dying. So yeah, rant over, because I do have to take care of my blood pressure and whatnot. It's just I generally care about some of these people, believe it or not. I do know people at these companies that are going to get majorly ass raped because of it. Like, they already fired a big chunk of people. What do you think is going to happen next? They're going to fire more. And again, it's not the marketing team, it's not the leeches, the commissars And the ticks that latch on to these companies that don't produce anything, but they suck the marrow out of these companies. And I'm talking about the gender study graduates, whatever they call themselves, diversity officer, blah, blah, whatever name they come up with. And they're not, like, why do you need a diversity officer for the love of God? How did companies operate for thousands of years? Well, not thousands of years, but you know what I mean. How did they operate before diversity officers became a thing? It's like, hiring a priest to make sure that your company is religious compliant. They don't produce, but they take money out of the company. Anyway, right. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the comment section. Picard coming up tomorrow or the day after.